What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and I'm joined by my co-host from the finish line, the homie, Mr. BallGame. What's good, homie?
Man, glad to be here again, man. Every time we get together, bro, it's like magic, man. So I'm happy to be here, man.
Bro, the people love it, and I mean, the finish line is enough proof of that, right? We were just
Yes,
talking
sir.
before we went live. Appreciate everyone out there who's been showing mad love. I mean, you want to know the real thing is, I'm gonna say it. We ran Big O off the Brawl Network, baby. So, like,
He
we
didn't
took
want no
over that
problems.
top spot, baby.
He didn't want
So,
no problems.
and shout out to the legend Richmond Webb, man, because like I said today, that man drops so many gems. Whether we're live, and I mean, me and BallGame had like an hour and a half conversation with them after our last podcast, and it was pretty good stuff,
Amazing.
man. Yeah, he's a good shout out to Richmond Webb. He's a good
Great,
dude.
great human being, man.
Yes,
Like
sir. Like Hall of Fame caliber player, but
they don't get no better, man. They don't get any better.
even
Like,
better person. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, I appreciate it. And yo, people are showing love to you, man. Jason Greaves says, "What's good, BallGame?"
What's good, homie?
Powerhouse says, "What's good, BallGame?"
Hey. Glad to be here. I tell you, man.
Everyone showing love. Kieran, how's it going? Marino's Goat, Nico, Steven, Rhino Sith, Danny, Hassan, Chalk, Vanilla Straw, Jazza 803, shout out to Australia, Josh Fernandez, Marino's Goat, Vicken, Shake Money, Shake. We already got 50 in the room. Joshua Ortega, J Pietinick. I don't want to butcher your name. Sorry if I did, my friend. Tommy Brinkley, Omar Brown, Sharif, man with the conspiracy plan. KA all day. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope y'all having a good Friday night, man. So BallGame.
Yes, sir.
Vicken says Reason BallGame. What's up? How you doing? Papa
Hey.
Chulo says what's up. Before we get into the whole game preview thing, let's talk about two things. First of all, let's talk about Matt Breida. We'll get into the injury report here, but I mean, we'll start off with that one because that's the big one. He's officially out, and that basically means we're going to be leaning on, Jordan Howard, the 0.8 yard per carry man, and then we're going to be, Patrick Laird, who was pretty Mr. Consistent last year, and then Salvin Ahmed's probably going to be called up, who had a lot of comparisons from his collegiate career to Myles Gaskin, called the Myles Gaskin 2.0. I got to say, first of all, how do you think the Breida injury not only impacts the backfield, like him officially being out, but let's stick to the three. What do you expect from them as a unit and as a committee, and what would probably be the best case scenario for you with them as a unit? Because we're not going to have, you can pretty much agree, we're not going to have a 100-yard rusher probably between any one of them. We're going to need them as a unit to get over 100 and 120 yards. Would you think so?
Yeah, it's gonna be unfortunately, it's gonna be ugly. The run game's gonna be ugly. We're talking about three guys who haven't had any of the lion's share of the reps over the last couple of weeks. I mean, at all, period, this season, pretty much. Going in and getting reps and being out there in live action when they would generally stand on the sideline holding their helmets or healthy scratches.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point right now for Jordan Howard, man, to be honest, he either have to prove that he deserves the money that we paying him, or he gonna have to pack his bags and get up out of here. The fact that they went and got a running back from the Chiefs, though, says a lot about how they feel about the room too. I mean, I know that Flores comes from a background of Belichick and those guys running the running backs by committee, but one thing they always had up there was their lead dog. And unfortunately, our lead dog is out. So we're relying on the rest of the pack to pick up that production. And I'm optimistic that the three of those guys can get some yardage, but the type of production that we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks between Breida and Gaskins, I don't think we can expect that from this group. Not this week anyway, especially considering, like you said, Jordan Howard's yard per carriage average is atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be pretty ugly. And which, to me, without a consistent run game, or if they can generate something, then that helps Tua. The more they can, the more they can consistently get 2.5, well, get 3.5, 4 yards of carry. If they can get that, that'd be a blessing, because that makes things for him that much easier. But if we only getting 2 yards of carry, that's 3rd and 8. I mean, that's going to be 3rd and 6 for us, which puts the defense in a position to do some very unique things to get after him, and that concerns me. However, that kid's smart, so I'm quite sure that Chan Gailey has already thought about the possibilities of throwing some wrinkles in there. We probably see a lot of screens. Because I think if I was a defensive coordinator for the Cardinals, I'd really be looking to get after him on 3rd downs. So
you want to get them into 3rd and long.
Yeah, get them in the 3rd and long. Yeah, but I'd screen them to death.
Yeah,
that'd be the first thing I'd do to help Tua out, to get the ball out of his hand quick and get.
Salvon Ahmed runs like a low 4.3. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Get the ball in space and let the guys make plays in space, and that'll slow up. That's always at that point then in the defensive players' minds, got them thinking, man, I just can't pin my ears back and get upfield, because if I get too deep, what I mean, if they get past butt deep up the field, it's gonna run right by you. You feel me? So I think we might see a lot of draws. We're gonna see for these type of for the running backs that are gonna be featured on Sunday, draws, probably a lot more stretch runs as opposed to probably a lot more stretch runs to allow
at least with Howard.
Howard to find his own hole. You know what I mean? Maybe the cutback, try to find the cutback lanes against the grain and things of that nature. But the screen game should be huge, and I imagine they'll actually incorporate the wide receivers into that as well, so that you can get the ball out to the edges. Incorporate the motion and get the ball out to the edges to guys in motion and things of that nature, so that the defense can just fire off the field.
Page and Jakeem Grant and Malcolm Perry.
There you go.
Okay, so I agree with you. I think, like, I had a conversation with Justin, one of the moderators here, before we went live a couple hours ago, and I actually agree with them. The guy I'm expecting big things from is Salvon Ahmed, because of his his size, his speed, etc. It's like we're
he's got good hands too.
Yeah, exactly. He's good in the run. He's good in the passing game too. It's basically like we're replacing. We've got a pretty good replacement for what we expected from Gaskin.
Right.
My thing is Laird or Howard can't really add that dynamic switch up that Breda gives you, which it looked like at times we could have used last week, and a lot of people were a little upset we didn't institute Matt Breda a little bit more. But I'm actually expecting Laird and Salvon Ahmed to have bigger games, if you want me, than Jordan Howard. I'm expecting, and if we're gonna go between, let's say, 25-30 carries between them, I wouldn't be surprised if Laird or Ahmed are the one with 13 or 14, and then the rest are split heavily amongst Laird, and then Howard gets, if you're gonna give me put a gun to my head about, like, let's say 18's the number, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 14 for Ahmed, 10 for Laird, and then 6 for Howard when it's all said and done.
Well, my thing, and I won't at any point disagree with what you said, because I understand the logic behind it. My thing would be that if Jordan Howard, for what we're paying him, is only going to get 6 carries, then we don't need him. He needs to be gone.
Well, but here's the thing, BallGame. If you think about it, they already recognized and realized that, because we can all again agree. I've said this multiple times. Who do you think was going to be the odd man out, and who's going to be giving up the roster spot if Le'Veon Bell was coming into town? It wasn't going to be Patrick Laird, because they were even using Patrick Laird. They've been using Patrick Laird since Howard's been a healthy scratch.
Right.
It was going to be bye-bye, Mr. Jordan Howard. Like, go join the lineup with Kalen Ballage, right?
I think I was on record. I think I was on record way back and wondering why we signed him anyway.
Yeah, because honestly, schematically, he's not a fit.
He's not a fit.
Because if it's, it's different if you're going to run a power run, from under center. People don't realize that's a whole. If you're gonna run it out of a spread, shotgun spread,
it's a whole different dimension.
That first step needs to be explosive, even if you're a big guy.
That's
you
true.
need to be gone,
Yeah.
right? Like, look, for example, what's harder, a stretch run out of shotgun or a stretch out of under center? Because a stretch from shotgun,
stretch out of the gun is tough.
You're getting the ball 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. There you go. You know what I mean? They know you're coming way behind. You know what I mean? So you know what it is. But like those are the little intricacies that now that we're seeing things play out, he's not a fit. But Le'Veon was, because for his size and what he can do in the run game and the pass game, he's that explosive first step, short area, quick burst. Like, Jordan Howard doesn't have that, man. Jordan Howard needs to be given the ball out of like a power eye and you know what I mean? Just dive up the middle, man. Like, just go. Or a power lead, man.
And he's not a finesse hammer either. He's
exactly.
He's a full-fledged.
Yeah, he's a sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, though. We could use a little of that on Sunday to slow them down too and beat them
in the red zone.
In the red zone, yeah.
But you've seen how bad he's even looked on short yardage situations. He's looked bad. It's
to me.
You remember some of those touchdowns? It took 3 straight carries to get like 2 yards. You know what I mean?
I'm good with body language, bro. And to me, from my experience of knowing and watching players' body language. He looks like a guy that's dejected, like a guy that really doesn't really want to be in Miami because he came in thinking he was going to be the feature back. I know he did, but that's why he came there for the opportunity to be that guy, and that didn't pan out for him. And if I know anything about these NFL players, man, they're divas. So when things don't go their way, they immediately turn it inside, shut themselves down, and start looking for the door out. You know what I mean? Or just don't become, just don't rise to the occasion. But what he could have done, if nothing else, he could have found a niche for himself on his team, just being the third, the short yardage guy. But even when they gave him the ball, he was lackluster. You could tell he was running the ball with he wasn't running the ball like a guy trying to keep a job.
You know what? You want me to put it in the most like non-football term? There was no umph in his step.
There you go.
Like it was just he's out there going through the motions, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it is what it is, but here is a good thing, especially for the run game, ball game, because the word is our boy, the man who proved to me he's worth that 18th pick. Shout out to him. Austin Jackson, Barry Jackson reported at 10:50 a.m. Eastern. A person who has been at Dolphins practice said Austin Jackson looks physically ready to return Sunday and at least get some playing time. We'll see if the team goes ahead with that move. If they do, likely would cause lots of O-line shuffling. All right. So this helps the offensive line, thank God.
Yeah.
Let me go to you, especially with how Jesse Davis has been playing last week and the week before. He's been playing very, very good.
I ain't touching it.
Really? Because I'm throwing Robert Hunt to the bench. I'm saying, Jesse, go back to the right tackle in Austin. There you go.
But I'm saying, though, I mean, they're saying that, I mean, unless he is, without a shadow of a doubt, 100% healthy.
Wow.
I'll wait.
Wow.
It ain't going to hurt him, man. He's a rookie. You know what I mean? The other guys still need that work, too, because at the end of the day, we're going to have to lean on them, man, at some point. Like,
yeah, but I don't think the long-term plan is going to be lean on Hunt as a right tackle.
No, he's going to slide inside the guard.
So I think they're going to move Jesse back because I think the thing with moving Jesse back is he bends, he doesn't break, and Kinley has played much, much better with Jesse Davis beside to him than he has with Hunt.
Well, I think that
Eric Flowers allowed 2 of our pressures last week, and then the other 2 came from Kinley and Hunt. But I don't know where that counting was coming from because I saw that pocket get pushed back from the edge a couple times. So I don't know if they counted that. Again, I need to see the criteria on what a pressure consists in PFF. But
there's something to be said about a guy playing next to a guy who's been arguably the least appreciated guy at a position for
Who,
a while.
Jesse Davis?
Been the most consistent. You know what I mean? That guy got
You know
a lot
what,
to
ball
offer.
game?
Huh?
If he had, the problem is he has no base strength. He has no anchor.
He has no anchor.
If he had anchor, I keep saying this. If Jesse had a solid anchor, he would be a very solid and reliable tackle. I don't think people realize this. It's just for a man his size, his strength isn't where it needs to be. Other than that, he's very intelligent. He's good with his hands.
Right.
He
possesses the same issue Dieter has.
Yeah,
big body, not a lot of strength.
And that's why Dieter's better. What do you think about the long term? I got to ask you this question before I get into the next topic, before we get into the preview of the game. Do you draft Myers from Ohio State, or a Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma, or a Trejo from Georgia, or Dickerson from Alabama? Or do you see what you got from Dieter? Because when he was at Wisconsin, he played guard and center, so he has played center before, and you could tell they're really taking their time and grooming him. Do you see what you have from Dieter at center before you even invest a high draft pick on a center?
Either way, I'm going to do my due diligence and see what I've got in Dieter, but I'm still going to go grab me somebody else, maybe the third or fourth round.
Okay.
We need depth anyway. You got to have.
Are you going to bring back Karras? Yeah,
probably not.
Yeah, I know.
Probably not.
He's all right, but
yeah,
not really writing home about him.
Right.
All right, so let me ask you about this, man, before we get into the preview here, and again has something to do with the game on Sunday. The news broke this morning that the Dolphins are in intensive protocols after an assistant coach tested positive for COVID. They will have a walkthrough later today, which we did, and the game on as scheduled at Arizona. Then later on, ball game. Lynn Bowden is now on the COVID reserve.
Yeah.
So, and they're not related. They're not related. They've come out and said that it's not related. Lynn Bowden being put on the COVID and this coach. I know they did their walkthrough with masks on today. Does this worry you at all for the status of Sunday? And does this maybe push a game like us into prime time?
Well, you always hope for a primetime game.
Woo, let's do it, baby. I'm ready to rock it.
But I'm surprised that this actually even is news coming out of the Dolphins, man, considering how thorough we've been in our process of dealing with COVID and ensuring everybody has been safe and not becoming liabilities to the team. So for me, I don't think it's enough of a concern to switch what's already been scheduled and put in motion right now at this point, because like I said, we have been one of the best teams at handling this situation. My concern is as the weather changes and it starts to shift into flu season as the season progresses on, how they're going to handle those things, because they're saying that it's supposed to be a black winter in terms of COVID/flu symptoms all mixed into one. So the Dolphins have been very diligent thus far in how they've handled this stuff, and I'm confident that they'll continue to be on top of it. But you never know. I just don't see with two people and them not being related instances, because didn't Bowden go home to have a baby
last week,
right? So if you think about in terms of who he could have been around then, that could have led to that, as opposed to it being from somebody in the organization. So I think it's going to be Sunday game on as previously scheduled, just because of how well we've done how well they've done a job of keeping everybody safe to this point. So I would love a primetime game though. But
and guys, we're not going to have a weather update this week because it's at the State Farm Stadium and they got a dome. FYI, if you guys know this, where's the weather update? You guys do it every week. It's not going to be this week because they're in a dome. All right, let's hop right into it. Let's start off with the injury report. and we already talked about a few players, and we'll get into a few names. So for the Arizona Cardinals, Kenyon Drake is out. Drake Kirkpatrick is out. He's missed some time. Jordan Phillips, former Dolphin, is questionable. Zeke Turner is questionable, and Buda Baker, Larry Fitzgerald, Jordan Hicks, and DeAndre Hopkins are all practicing in full after being limited, and in DeAndre Hopkins' case, did not practice on Wednesday. So Kenyon Drake, big name, but we talked about this and we'll talk about it when we get into the keys. I'm a huge fan of Chase Edmonds. I think he's highly, highly underrated. He's very good in the passing game. He's also very good running the football. So Chase Edmonds will be carrying probably the workload for them. Drake Kirkpatrick, I mean, they've dealt with him so far this year, and Patrick Peterson's had kind of a down year. So if they open up to a little bit, there should be no problems. You just got to watch out for that boy Buddha, baby. Jordan Phillips, you know how it is, ball game. Even when he went to Buffalo, he always had good games against us. Yeah. And then beyond that, everyone's pretty much a lock to be back. I think highly of Jordan Hicks as a linebacker. I'm a huge fan of Larry Legend, Larry Fitzgerald. So they got some good players there. But anyways, you go to us. Matt Breida is officially out with his hamstring injury. Jamal Perry is questionable with a foot injury after being limited all week. And then Kavon Frazier, Byron Jones, Patrick Laird, Lawson, McCain, Roberts, Rose, Shaheen, Van Noy. They're all full participants. They're just a little banged up, but they're all ready to go. And thank God Patrick Laird is ready to go after starting off the week limited. I'll tell you that much. But, it's a pretty long list of names. A lot of them just on there because they've been battling little minor injuries and stuff like that. But, again, that Breida, that's a name on this week. Is the last week in the season we probably want to see that name on the injury report is out, but I know you whistled for the Drake Kirkpatrick because that's their CB2 basically, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
That is a big injury for them. You look at the Kenyon Drake injury, the Kirkpatrick injury. What if Jordan Phillips looks like he's a little bit less likely than Zeke Turner because he started off this week not practicing, right? So
that guy.
But those are also some of their, those two guys are some of their best defenders, right? And Kenyon Drake, they run basically a committee with Murray on the ground, Chase Edmonds, and Kenyon Drake, right? So, I mean, they got the second best rushing attack in the NFL ball game. We talked about this on the finish line. They're averaging about 160 yards a game on the ground right now. But the thing is, Kenyon Drake isn't being asked to be a lead rusher or rush for 100 or anything like that. So, I want to get your thoughts if you have any on what you see from this injury report right here.
For me, man, the things that stand out the most for me, man, if Drake Kirkpatrick can't go and Jordan Phillips can't go, that helps us. That helps us with. I don't know. I mean, I hated it when we let him go, when Phillips left us, man, because I think the last thing he said to us that we were going to regret it. And every time we've seen that dude, man,
he lived up to it.
Man, you know what I mean? And you really hate, I know, they say you ain't supposed to fear no player, man, but, him being hurt, I don't never wish that type of stuff on nobody, but like,
yeah, don't say it, just give the thumbs up.
Yeah, it benefits us, you know what I'm saying? And then CB2 is out, so that, Pat travels, so he's probably gonna have Parker all game anyway. Pat travels regardless, so so that gives.
But their defense isn't bad right now. That's the thing. Like, they're banged up and they don't have a lot of good names. And Isaiah Simmons isn't playing like a number 8 overall pick, but he did have that overtime interception to seal a game, right? Like their defense is actually like they're top 15, top 20 in the NFL right now, bro.
Right. I think all the things Simmons was missing, man, was some confidence. When you take a kid that's played rover and played free safety and strong safety and college,
even corner,
and then some corner, yeah, and then you want to convert him to a middle linebacker. Well, I'm telling you, man, people don't understand. It is extremely difficult to go from being up on high and coming down from depth, coming down to the play, as opposed to being right there in the chute where everything is coming right at you at that middle linebacker spot. That's a lot to take in, and it takes a lot of time to get acclimated to that. I mean, it is what it is. And for me, I didn't see a kid that didn't know the game. I saw a kid that just wasn't confident in his ability to play in that position. Until I saw him do something that he was naturally able to do, which was get back, drop back, turn his hips, run, keep his eyes on the quarterback, and level off. And he picked Russell Wilson on that pass. It was a thing of beauty. Sometimes that's all the play you need, man. You only need one. You only need one or two plays sometimes to confirm for yourself, I belong. You feel me? Because I mean, I know he had his moments where he was questioning himself. You know, he had to, because all good players do that anyway. They have a bad game, or they have a play that they know they could have made, but they just didn't make it because they were hesitant. It starts to cycle in their head, man. So if that kid, if he's out of his head on Sunday, he's gonna present a problem for us. Gesicki gonna have his hands full, because he can play. He can neutralize Gesicki if he in the right frame of mind.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree 110%.
Yeah, they have, like you said, to me, they're a top 15 defense, and they got players. They got guys.
They even drafted. You know how much I wanted Leaky Fatu for our defensive line. I mean, they drafted him. I know Chandler Jones has opted out, but Hassan Reddick kind of hasn't been the guy they hoped, but he's had a decent season. You got Marcus Golden came over there from the Giants. Right. He's been all right. I told you I'm a huge Jordan Hicks fan. You know how I feel about Budda Baker. I think he's one of the best safeties in the NFL.
Facts.
You know, so I don't know. I think Byron Murphy's back for them too, and he's a decent corner.
Yeah.
So you know it's going to be Byron Murphy but he mainly plays the slot. I'm pretty sure. Right. Yeah, but he's back right now. So and I know he was injured. So. They got their main slot guy. So
the thing for me looking at this is that we don't have, obviously, without having Gaskins and now not having our number 2 guy up in Breda, the focus really becomes how effective can we be at the run game. You know, that's really what it comes down to. With all these guys being healthy, though, that kind of tells me that defensively we shouldn't have much of a drop off, right? I mean, if you think about the offense of the Cardinals, it is explosive and can hurt you really fast. But I think without a shadow of doubt, we're built to deal with the best of what they can give us as long as we stay disciplined and keep Murray in the pocket. If we let him climb the pocket.
Oh, we'll get into that. We'll get into that when we get to the keys, my friend.
Okay.
But you're dead on 110%.
So.
All right, so let's get into it then. We might as well, because we're right there and we're talking about it, right? So that is your injury report. And guys, Lynn Bowden wasn't on there. He's been placed on COVID, and it looks like Austin Jackson, from reports, he's ready to go on Sunday. It looks like he's going to be ready to go, but it's going to be obviously a game time decision. So that's just based on reports right now, guys. All right, so let's keep it rolling here. Let's get into some keys, bro. Well, let's get into the matchup to watch. We're going to switch it around because usually I go for – we'll talk about this, actually, because we were talking about Kyler right there, and it'll lead into the keys. So the matchup to watch I have – usually I don't give into the sexy, but I am going to go – for Tua and Kyler this week. And the reason why, BallGame, and I'll let you go carry off right after I give my thoughts and reasoning behind there. So I truly believe this is going to come down to the quarterbacks, because it's going to be about who manages the game better and who makes less mistakes. Okay. Like, for example, me and you were talking earlier about the defense before we went live, and I said, the fact of the matter is, even if they turn the ball over a little bit, but we have 3 and outs, and they get the ball back, what good is that turnover? And all of a sudden they get a second, third, fourth chance, right?
Right.
So my thing is going to be, can Tua extend drives? Because can this offense do it's a tall task for this offense. We're going to basically be asking them to do a complete 180 from what we asked them to do last weekend. And now without your top 2 running backs, when the pistol, and if I know we only sprinkled the RPO again last week, but if they wanted to go RPO heavier, we really don't have backs that you could right now. I mean, you could with Salvon Ahmed 4-3, but he's not really ingrained in this offense yet, like a Gaskin or what Breda was. So in that term, I think it's going to be about like who's going to play the most mistake-free football, because if Kyler plays mistake-free football, that means he's improvising. That means he's making things happen with his arm and with his legs. And, they're going to put up points. If Tua plays mistake-free football, that means there's no turnovers. That means whatever they decide to do on Sunday in terms of how much they decide to open up the playbook, it's going to be to a good cause and effect, because he'll be playing mistake-free football at that point.
Right.
So I really think it's going to come down to who can move the ball. And another thing, right? With our offense and extending drives, we'll be able to take time off the clock, and that'll limit Kyler being on the field, right?
Keeps
And keeps our defense fresh, exactly. But what good is a weapon if we keep it holstered,
That's
right?
True. Yeah.
So, I mean, I really think, this is going to come down to who has the better game with their offense. If Kyler Murray is a turnover machine and puts our offense in a position to capitalize and add even more points on top of the defense getting points too, then they're going to have a problem, right? If Tua comes out and we either run a vanilla offense, or Tua, we open it up and Tua turns it over a bit and we give them more chances with Kyler, we're probably going to have a problem, and Kyler's going to have a good game. So, I mean, that's my matchup to watch. I just want to get your thoughts on that, bro.
I don't, obviously I don't disagree with anything you said. My thing is, I'll be looking to see how much more Chan is willing to throw at the kid to open up this offense, because obviously this team is explosive, and you want to be in the best position to, if you need to, be able to take shots vertically up the field and do things aggressively, have that already dialed in and have him comfortable with doing it. I don't want us, and I hope without a shadow of a doubt, we don't get into a position where we are looking to throw everything on his shoulders to win it. The performance the defense had last week kind of puts me in a different mindset about that not necessarily being the case. I think we can go out and get stops. I believe we'll get them early. My concern is late in the game when, let's say, nobody's able to run the ball. Are we going to throw caution into the wind and let Tua wing it all around the field, or are we going to stick to the guns and see? Well, he can't. If he open it up, he can't dial it back. So Shan has to make the decision. You know what I mean? It's going to be worth it. Is it going to be worth it to open it up? Yes, it will be, because we got to see we got to see what he got anyway. We got a defense ready to support him. The thing going to be is how creative can he be, like we talked about behind the scenes, of ensuring that they don't have an opportunity to have the ball more than we do. That's what it comes down to. And who does more with the ball when they've got it. Can't be settling for field goals if they scoring touchdowns, that's for sure. And we can't be going sideline to sideline with Kyler never to get him, and then all of a sudden we forget about contain, and then Hopkins gone deep, which I don't see that happening much. Jones or X should be able to neutralize Hopkins. It's those other guys.
Because the problem is, we talked about this before we went live, right? I brought up how they basically run one personnel, or they run 10 personnel, right? It's about Danny Isabella and Christian Kirk in the slot, right? They have really reliable slot guys. I'm not worried about Larry Fitzgerald and DeAndre Hopkins, because I know X gave up a touchdown. I know he gave up a touchdown to DeAndre Hopkins, and that's fine. But I believe he only gave up like 23 yards that whole game, and it came in the second half because he got shut down. And then I know Byron gave up like 60 or 70 yards to him when he faced him, but he locked him out of the end zone. So I'm not worried about that. And I'm not worried about Larry Fitzgerald up against whichever guy. It's mainly probably going to basically, if you look DeAndre Hopkins, he nearly always works from the left sideline as a left wide receiver,
Split
lined
in.
up on the left on the split end, exactly. And then you got Danny Isabella and Larry, in the slot, and then Christian Kirk on the right boundary. So if you look at us, Byron has worked almost exclusively as the right side corner
Right.
this year, strong side, but he's also followed when he had to.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like he's might be lined up with Hopkins this week, one-on-one, right? Number ones against number one. So I'm not worried about that, man. I'm not worried about that at all. And X will shut down Christian Kirk. I'm not worried about that. It's
Isabella against Needham.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Needham and Perry and whoever else we throw at him in the slot. Yeah.
It's mainly Larry Fitzgerald and Isabella out of the slot. I screwed up. It's mainly Larry Fitzgerald and Isabella out of the slot. And Larry Fitzgerald is basically turned into a possession receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's not going to take it to the house.
No.
It's Andy Isabella is that going to take it to the house for you, right?
Yeah. Him and Kirk, them guys explosive, man.
Kirk is explosive. Kirk worries me because he'll still make catches, and Christian Kirk is pretty money in the red zone. They manufacture space for him to get touchdowns in the red zone. My thing is, Larry Fitzgerald, if it's Eric Rowe on him, he's locked down.
Yeah.
So now comes to Andy Isabella against Needham. And, Needham's got to play probably his best game of the season so far.
Hold on, bro. I need to let this dog out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So, yeah, if you look at it, guys, how the matchup is probably going to be, it's probably going to end up being for what Kyler's going to have. It's probably going to have Byron manned up with DeAndre, Christian Kirk manned up with X, and then you're probably going to have Needham on Isabella, and Rose probably going to take on Larry Fitzgerald. Because they don't really utilize their tight ends heavily in their packages, right? They like Chase Edmonds can run routes. Kenyon Drake can be good out of the run game, but I'm not really expecting anything from Dan Arnold or Daryl Daniels like their tight ends. I'm not worried about that. So when you look at this game, guys, for me, it literally is 1 versus 1. That's the ironic thing, 1v1 right here. So I hope Needham can lock it down. We've seen a lot of laundry on the field this year from Needham so far. He's gonna have to cut that out. And I will give Needham props. The last 2 games, he's really cut back on the laundry that's hit the field. So we're just gonna have to see a solid game from Nick Needham. Because here's the thing, guys. All that stuff breaks down when Kyler gets outside the pocket.
Yes, sir.
Linebackers, rovers, high safeties, corners move off their spots, right? When a guy starts getting out of the pocket. So we'll get into that. But that is the matchup to watch. I think, whichever one plays a better game and a more mistake-free game, I think that's gonna be your winner. Okay, so let's get into our offensive keys. You look at our team heading in, especially with this run game right now. So the number one key I got here, BallGame, is offensive line has to win in the trenches to help the depleted run game and give Tua time to throw. Now, it's exciting that Austin Jackson might be back, but here's the thing, BallGame.
Mm-hmm.
Against the Rams, by design, he was throwing the ball on an average time to throw of 2.27 seconds. Okay? Because whether the run game's not working or not, he might need a little bit more time to open it up, especially if we're starting to get into a little bit of a shootout.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even if we're getting to the low 30s, high 20s, all right? You're going to need time to throw here. Okay? So, and we both agree they need to open up the playbook far more than what they were showing us. There's no time for vanilla. If it ain't chocolate ice cream with syrup and whipped cream and cherry on top, I don't want it on the table this Sunday, okay? Because this is an offense, like you said earlier, and like we talked about before we went live. I said to you, they could throw 2 interceptions, but then we could go 2, 3 and outs off each interception, and they could come back and put 14 points up on the board because the defense has been on the field for so much. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So anyways, so I just want to get what your thoughts, especially with Austin Jackson coming back. That really helps that first key. But what do you think about not only a better offensive line is going to help a lesser talented run game, but a better offensive performance in terms of offensive line and holding up, 2.4, 2.5, God help us, 2.6 seconds to throw. You know what I mean?
Right. I think you hit it right on the head. My thing is that he had to get that ball out as fast as he did last week because Aaron Donald is something different. Thank God this week we don't have to worry about facing arguably the best defensive player in the NFL right now. The Cardinals do a fairly decent job of getting after you, but they don't have an Aaron Donald up front with Chandler Jones being out, opting out. That pretty much gives me the thank God, not 2 times back to back effect, But I was just sitting there pondering it. It would change the dynamics of things a bit if Jackson is back because we do get better up front. So yeah, I like that. I like that idea now. I mean, I said initially leave Jesse, but bringing Jackson in probably would shuffle some things around and make it probably a better unit up front. So yeah, let's go with that. I just don't. For me right now, man, my biggest concern is still residing with the guy calling the plays from up top.
The man who needs to be roaming the sidelines, not sitting upstairs.
Yep, exactly. He needs to be down in the trenches, talking face to face with guys at that level, as opposed to through that earpiece. Because what he's seeing from up top doesn't look anything like what's happening on the field.
Agreed.
And that's probably one of the biggest things that I was able to learn from being a defensive coordinator was like sitting up in the booth as opposed to being on the field. You lose so much of being up there because it looks different. Everything, but when you ground level right there looking at it, you can see a lot more things going on. You can see how guys are actually setting their hands and setting their sets to actually come off for the pass rush. You can tell if they're coming hard or they just going, they're just going to engage and drop in the zone and all that type of stuff. He should know that, but at the same time, you asked about the offensive line. The offensive line definitely is going to get better with Jackson back in. So if he's ready to go, yeah, go ahead and make the move, man, because we're going to need this run game. I'm not going to. Yeah, I think you'll see some more probably deeper developing plays this week. Just because, like I said, they don't have Aaron Donald on this team.
Yeah, but give me something underneath. If you look at that deep throw to Preston.
We need 3 levels.
Yeah, but if you look at that deep throw to Preston along the left sideline last week, it was all just deep stuff. There was nothing underneath for him to check down to, and everything was covered.
Chan Gailey has to incorporate levels where there's first level being underneath drag, second level being a crosser, right? A mid-level crosser and a deep shot. So you can get the over-the-top coverage out of there, right? And then leak a running back somewhere into the flats somewhere. So they have 4 options.
Underneath it all?
Yeah. So you can even do he could even go maybe gun doubles and then drag the tight end, do a over route with the slot, bring the backside wide receiver on a deep dig route, 20-yard dig route, and then take Preston vertical up the sideline. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. And then, use the running back as a check down. Have the running back run an option route. The fact of the matter is you want the defense to have to work all the areas of the field. If he just, like he did last week, and just sent everybody vertical.
Yeah, what good is that? Yeah.
What good is that? You didn't stress anything because they're ready. They're already thinking pass anyway. So you just made it easier for them. Now they just got to cover 3 routes. But what about when those routes are crossing each other and they have to navigate through that traffic too? This is the best time in the world to be a wide receiver because really after 5 yards, can't nobody touch you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those guys have to be spot on the understanding of where they got what their drops are to, and what, you know what I'm saying, where they got to turn their hips to focus on picking up a guy and how far they got to carry him and things of that nature. So he's got to be intricate, right? That everything that he's going to add to this offense this week has to include confusion for the defense. The motion works, right? And you can do a lot of beautiful things out of the motion, but that's only going to help you if you're still pushing guys off their marks, right? So somebody's always going to have to be pushing up the field. Somebody's going to have to be coming underneath that, and then you need something else coming from the other side. So that, you know, you catch a guy, he want to run all the way across the field with that deep crosser, but then he misses the drag coming the other way. You feel me? But flooding the field only works if you got the wide side to your favor. Feel me? And I think a lot of what he was just trying to do last week was just trying to get guys out of space, get guys out in space. But you need options underneath. You have to have it, especially with a rookie quarterback. I don't care.
Yeah.
So,
and then the second key is can't afford drive killing drops or penalties, i.e., you know, you convert a third down and you get a holding, or Preston Gaskin, paging you guys, especially with a rookie quarterback, man. I know he's the type where he'll shake it off, but like, you know, if we get into a game where points need to be put on the board,
you shouldn't have to question whether those guys are going to do their job. That's the thing.
I don't need Preston Williams turning into Jakeem Grant 2.0, brother.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And then our last key for offense here is turnover-free game from the entire offense. I was going to put Tua, but then all the news came out about Breda, and with everyone else, with Laird, Howard, and Salvin Ahmed, no fumbles, boys.
Yeah.
The last thing I need is we're already dealing without having our top backs, and now we got the backfield getting a case of fumbleitis. So,
you know what I want to see? I want to see Tua throw the ball away.
Yeah.
Right? Don't take that extra hit. Throw the ball away. If there's nothing there, throw it away and play for the next down. That would tell me that he's progressed, because that's one thing that he wouldn't do at Alabama. He was always holding it to the last minute trying to make that play. I don't need him doing that in the NFL. If it ain't there, get that ball gone. And
remember a couple of years ago when it wasn't there for Aaron Rodgers and he set the record for most throwaways in a single season, and that's one of the best ever, right?
Yeah.
So
ain't no shame in that, man. Ain't no shame in throwing the ball away.
Live to fight another play, bro.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, so let's get into your bread and butter. Let's get into the defensive keys. So the first one I've identified is contain Kyler Murray to the pocket. Now, the problem we have is we don't get a lot of pressure up the middle. Yeah, Benito Jones and Raekwon have been playing well, but you're not counting on them to get consistent pressure up the middle. And even when you look at a guy like Raekwon, even when he's getting beyond the line of scrimmage, he's still making mistakes in terms of even in the running game, which is bread and butter, like false steps leading to him missing tackles, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So my thing is, when you look at our pressure, you know, even from Seiler recently, it's been more from the outside, but Ogba and Lawson, you know, if they get arced out even just a little bit, those B gaps, all of a sudden, they widen massively. Ball game, and all Kyler Murray has to do is, because he's so quick and fleet-footed, all he has to do is step up and step out. Okay, like that's it. Or step up and step out, or slide and step. That's it, and you're out, right? So, you know, and then that's where we talk about guys getting off their spots, off their marks, and then he's making stuff happen. So, you know, I think it's going to be, if you're going to make a guy like this beat you, you know, it's just like when we got beat by Josh Allen, we talked about containing Josh Allen to the pocket. You know, if he's going to beat you and he beats you from the pocket, what can you say? You know what I mean?
Say he played great, but
it is what it is. You take it on the chin. Yeah, exactly. And then number 2 I have here, and Drake is now officially out. So don't allow Drake, Edmonds, or Murray to gash us on the ground. Like I said earlier, they're averaging about 160 yards on the ground per game, which is second best in the NFL. Now I know Drake is out, but I already told you I'm a huge fan of Chase Edmonds. I think he's highly underrated in the pass game and in the run game. I think he's one of the best and most reliable backups in the game right now, and he's going to be holding a workload, and I think he could be deadlier with a 20 carry 6 to 8, 9 catch workload than a Kenyon Drake would be, honestly, because he's faster. So, and then you add in Murray, and we talked about just him about getting out of pocket right there. I think it's, you look at how bad we've been against the run game, and Ian makes a good point. It's been more against condensed tight offenses, not more spread. But I mean, people have seen how effective our running game can be out of the spread at times, right? Especially go back to that 93-yard game for Gaskin when everyone was getting a little bit, you know, this running game is decent. It's not bad even without Kenyon Drake. So maybe we see, Benjamin, the rookie, for the first time. I don't know, but I do think their run game is a legitimate worry. And then my third key here is ball game, and then the floor is yours to talk about all these. X and Byron have erased D-Hop before, so whoever has him in week 9 has to do it again, and that's most likely going to be Byron Jones. But D-Hop, if you're going to allow 120, 150 yards to D-Hop, we're probably going to be in for a 300-yard game from Kyler Murray, because then he can spread the ball around to the rest of the guys for another 150. And that's the last thing we want. Now we know Byron has shut him down last time and no touchdowns. X shut him down to 23 yards, but he did allow a touchdown. So no touchdowns. Let's keep him to around 80 yards max. And I think, we keep Kyler under 250, and then we keep them contained to that pocket. That's a recipe for success.
Oh, my bad, bro. So, is it me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You always, when we talked about this, we talked about this in the back, man. I think I'm gonna go back to number 2 here with don't allow Drake, Edmonds, and Murray. My thing is, we don't do well with shifty backs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Edmonds is a guy that could go nothing, 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 and then hit you for a 40-yard 45-yard scamper that leads to them moving the ball into the other side of the field, and then hit you for 2 yards, 3 yards, 1 yard. They'll go for it on 4th down sometime, and then the next thing you know, he'll rip off an 18-yard touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned because we haven't had any continuity. We haven't had any real continuity up front in terms of the run defense. Pass defense been stellar.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody with any common sense know that. But I think the thing is going to be that Boyer needs to be just a little bit more aggressive in terms of not just blitzing the pass, but also going ahead and blitzing on the run as well, bringing the safeties down in the box and getting them involved in the run fits as well. Because then at that point, if everybody's been invited to the party, everybody get to eat, everybody get to participate. There's no sense in having your guys, 10, 12 yards away from the play if you're getting gashed for 5, 6 yards, if they can come down and plug a hole. So bring them in, get them up closer. You got guys on the edges that can hold their own. Bring them in the boxes, man, because they do a really good job of getting their wide receivers also involved in the blocking assignments too. So it behooves us to come up and be up closer so that we can deal with everything right there in short spaces, as opposed to having to come from depth, because you can miss or get walled and blocked off of your landmark, and then that opens up a crease for the running back to fit through at the second level, and he's gone. So I'm hoping Boyer thinks a lot in detail about that and incorporating Rowe and Bobby into the run fits this week. X and Byron, like you said, did a really good job on D-Hop. He is by far their most explosive wide receiving threat. But for me, I think the biggest concern I have is when are they going to stop with the tic-tac stuff and hit and need them with these penalties, because it probably ain't going to happen this season just because nobody still respects us for who we are. But in the same sense, a lot of the flags that they gave him, he didn't earn. I mean, they're just because he's not the name, right? You see Jones and X doing the same things.
Yeah.
But Needham's the one getting the flag, right? Because he's just not. He just doesn't have the name, and they don't respect him the same. But I don't I'm like, and I think Flores probably thinks about this the same way I think about it. We play the style of defense we play for a reason, so you deal with those.
Yep.
Take them as they come. It is what it is. Murray and his explosiveness to me is concerning, but in the same sense, I believe we have guys on our unit that can contain him. Jerome Baker and Grugier Hill are probably our fastest two linebackers.
I was gonna say, bro. I was gonna say to you, sorry to cut you off, but I just want to add context.
Yeah.
If you look at how like the Patriots used a guy like Marquise Flowers, right? They used to use Marquise Flowers mainly as a spy.
Right. Yep.
And Grugier Hill kind of fits more of that athletic profile. And then I wanted to ask you this, because now you're on to Kyler. Give me your thoughts on this. Did they stick with the zero blitz because, with the zero blitz, they were able to impair his vision, get hands up in the face? Or do you think that, do you think the tape is out on the zero blitz where, okay, they know what to expect? Because we really kind of threw Goff off his game a lot with that zero blitz. Do you think, but the thing is, and this is the counter to that, and I know it, you can't compare the athlete that Jared is to Kyler. You just can't. Okay. Well, so, but I got to ask, do you think they come back heavy with that zero blitz just as you continue your thoughts on Kyler here?
Yeah. You're going to see, I think what we're going to see is a lot of everybody at the line, like the same stuff. But the difference is, and why that zero blitz is so effective is because pre-snap, right? The center is identifying and assigning the protections, right? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, while the quarterback's in his cadence, you got guys running down to the line of scrimmage. He has to then, the center then at that point has to recheck. He has to recheck and try to reassign assignments or give different assignments, and guys got to start pointing and picking out. But you really don't ever truly know who's coming, right? That's the beauty of that whole process. And even though Kyler, I consider him, because I consider all quarterbacks in their first 3 years, he's still a rookie to me. Still learning. He still hasn't officially become a junior yet. He's a sophomore right now in the NFL. You know what I mean? So you treat it like high school, right? You're not a senior. You're not a junior. He's a sophomore right now. They're still prone to make mistakes. And the best way to effectively attack a guy who has true athleticism like Kyler is to send heat at him, get him off of his block, and make him run. Right, and we make him run. Send him to the short side of the field where you've already got a contained guy waiting for him, and now he has to make a decision. Do I throw just the safe pass? Because if he throws back across his body, he's throwing back to somebody that's definitely covered. Right, you're limiting his ability. He's most dangerous right now at this point when the ball is set up right in between the hashes in the middle of the field. Once you get him to a sideline and get him to a hash, sideline is his friend, but the sideline is also our friend too because he's limited at that point. As long as we don't let him get to the sideline and up the field, he's ours. We got him boxed, right? And the goal is you keep the mouse in the box. You don't let him get out the box. He can't hurt you if he ain't in. If he outside the box. I mean, as long as he's in the box, he can't hurt you. That's what they're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to limit his ability to scramble all over the field. When he's in the middle, we got to set wide, right, and push him up the field. If he does go anywhere, you want him to come up the field to where your linebackers are sitting waiting on him.
Yeah, but the problem with doing all these things is we're running into the most no huddle oriented offense in the NFL.
Yeah, well, it's easy though.
Well, but the thing, look at how much we struggled last week against the Rams when they ran no huddle. That was probably the only time we struggled in the game was when the Rams were running no huddle against us, albeit we were to a point winded. But I mean, the thing is here is like, again, they bring, they constantly keep you on the field. So that's another reason of why our offense and Tua's job is even more important to sustaining drives and, keeping our defense off the field, because if they're on the field a lot against us, there was a lot of keys I wanted to use here, but another one was the time of possession, because if we lose the time of possession battle to them, that's not a good thing because of how winded that could make our defense. And then here's another thing, I was talking about Christian Kirk before we went live, and I was talking about how many touchdowns. He has 5 touchdowns, and most of those have come in the red zone this year.
Right.
And they're the number 5 red zone offense in the NFL. And we've been, our offense, we can say, is the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL. They're turning elite before our eyes, but they're the 21st ranked defense in the red zone.
Red zone. Yeah, that's true.
So, these are factors here, because, a no huddle offense, if you get into, it's all about rhythm, right? And if you find that rhythm, you're going to be getting, here's the thing, you're going to be getting to red zones pretty quick. And then our offense, there's going to be times where, even if the Arizona Cardinals score, it might be a fairly quick drive. And again, you're going to have to just come out and sustain a drive and this offense and depleted running back room. Because if you don't, then we're going right back into a no huddle facing a no huddle. And you get into that, you know how it is, man. You coach defense. I'm sure you face no huddle oriented offenses. If they get their rhythm going and your offense, which is out of your control ball game as a defensive coordinator and as a defensive player, if they don't get their rhythm going, it's just inevitable, right? Because you're going to deal with 36, 40 minutes of possession against, like, in a 60-minute game, there's going to be points.
Right.
You can only hold so much.
That's true. But see, for me, my thought process was always, we're going to be, without a shadow of a doubt, the most in shape, the most prepared, and the most ready to sustain whatever they're going to throw at us, right? So I always said to myself, if they're running no huddle, their guys are moving and got to move just like my guys got to move, right? They're getting tired too, right? So it really comes down to who wants it more, right? And I just always used to feel like, all of the gassers and all of the half gassers and all of the wind sprints and all that stuff that my guys had to mandatorily run every practice, even after we were done with practice for the full reps of practice. They still had to do that stuff until, if they didn't puke, they didn't get to go home.
Yeah.
Because I knew come game time, nobody gonna be more ready than us. So when we did get deep into drives of the team being out there for 16, 17, 18, 19 plays, my guy's still standing over looking at him like, hey, that's all you got? You only got 20-something, 30-something yards. You still got 25 to go to even get into the end zone, but we here. The 2-yard, 3-yard, 4-yard runs y'all getting, we still ready for that. And you can speed it up all you want. What am I getting at? I think that if they get into a tempo game, we playing South Florida, bro. It's hot.
No,
we're going to be ready for that. I ain't ready. I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned about is Josh Boyer getting ahead of himself and trying to do too much. Just call base and give them maybe 1 or 2 calls that they can check into and leave it, right? Because once the offense gets into that anyway, you can't shuffle guys in and out of you can't get guys on the field fast enough. So you might well just put your base personnel out there and stick with that, right? It's a simplified process when they go to this no huddle stuff. That's why you see teams get beat up and get scored on quick and all that type of stuff because they're trying to do too much. But if you got personnel set that you love, right, and it matches up personnel-wise with what they got on the field, call base plays and be done with it. If 0 is where you want to live, which I think we can live in 0, make them prove that they can run no huddle against your 0. Boyer just got to be smart enough not to out-coach himself. He did an amazing job last week. You know what I'm saying? It showcased all of the talent that we have on the defense and things of that nature. But he can't get into wanting to try to do too much too fast, right? Let the game come, and if they decide that they want to speed up the game, then you simplify it back. You dial it back, and you just run your base stuff, and that be that. I think this game's going to come down a lot to coaching too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Kingsbury.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing too, brother. We saw what a guy like Greg Williams could do against us with not a lot of talent on defense.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of talent, but they do have some talent with a guy like Buda Baker, Jordan Hicks, and they got a pretty good defensive coordinator in Vance Joseph.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have any slouch. So, right. And he's going up against a rookie. He's probably licking his chops a little bit here.
Everybody that we're going to face should be.
Sure. For sure. But here's the other thing. The one good thing about the way the game went last week is BallGame. we played such a vanilla defense that we didn't show our
Or
hand
anything.
of what we can do offensively.
Right.
So let's hope they got a couple aces up the sleeve and they're ready to throw them down. But guys, I want to say there's 160 in the room right now. Subscribe if you haven't. Smash that like button. We went into this stream with about 1,698 subscribers. Let's do a quick check. Let's see if we hit that. Let's get up to 1,700, guys. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button. We're still at 1,698. Hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button. If you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Finside. You can also do it through the super chat. And then again, if you want to become a Finside the NFL Patreon, as always, you can go to patreon.com/Finside the NFL, because we added a $2 Patreon, guys. So take advantage of that if you just want to come out here and support the channel. And as always, shout out to each and every one of our 13 Patreons, the originals, Infinite Trauma, and Rhino Sith, of course, the OGs. And then you got Fake Spike 94. Fake Spike, check it out, man. The XL and the double XLs are in. Shake Money, Shake, Joe B, KA All Day, Ramon Casillas, Seth, Mr. Two Bits, Slim Pickens, Big Time, Red Dino, and our latest Marino's Goat. Shout out to each and every one of you guys for supporting the channel. And guys, this week only, head over to patchvibes.com, use the code FINSIDE and get 25% off your order. They got that Shula 347 patch that you see the players wearing. They got all the different, the 89 logo, the 96 logo, all the different Dolphin logos in patches. They even got Tua patches, so go check them out. Get 25% off your order. And guys, if you want to get some official Finside the NFL merch, teespring.com/stores/Finside the NFL. The double XLs and the XLs are back in stock, guys. So go check that out. We got 5 different designs. We do it, because we love it, man. So rep the Finside fam while also showing support for the Miami Dolphins at the same time, guys.
Hey, bro.
All right. Yo.
Byron Murphy and Devon Kennard are out.
Wow, that's a huge loss if Byron Murphy's out.
They're on that injured reserve COVID list. Yeah,
I know. I heard they might, but I heard he could be activated.
Yeah.
So hope not.
As of this morning.
Yeah. Like Matt Stafford is on it, but they're saying he could be activated for the game.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, because he went on like 5 days protocol or whatever because he was in close contact. So my whole thing is, we're on the road. We're traveling basically across the country.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals are what we were last week. They're coming off a bye.
Right.
And winning streaks got to eventually end, bro. I don't know how sustainable. I think this is next to the Kansas City game. Here's the good news, because I'll throw my prediction up right now. My prediction, and I'll let you make your prediction after. My prediction is that Arizona is going to win 31-17, guys. I'm pretty sure that's the prediction I made on the finish line. It was either 31 or 33-17.
Yeah.
But I'll stick with 31-17, I guess. Whatever. Because Drake's out. We'll use that as the excuse if it was 33-17. But, I just don't know if we're going to be able to keep up with this offense, man, especially with how this running game is right now. I'll tell you right now, ball game 17, some of those are defensive points. I'm saying the defense scores a touchdown and the offense scores 10 points, which technically by standards of last week, offensively, that would be an increase and a better game. Now, I mean, again, I always set my expectation, my bar low so I can be pleasantly surprised. I just don't like, again, I think Vance Joseph with less talent, it's a Greg Williams guy. It's a Greg Williams type of thing, but we can both agree they got a bit more talent overall than what the Jets do on defense.
Right.
And then, again, I don't like the fact that they're traveling cross country while Arizona's coming fresh off a bye at home. And Vance, I just think I agree with you. It's going to come down to coaching. I would put it in between the better quarterback play or and the better coaching. So that's my prediction, 31-17. And what's your prediction, brother?
I'm trying to remember what I said on Wednesday, but I think it was what you just said, but opposite. I think we're going to win, man.
So then you know what? Mine was 33-17.
No.
So I'll stick with that because it wasn't opposite. So 33-17 is my prediction, guys. Sorry, I'll stick with that because he's right. We weren't opposite like that, but we were just off. His was 31-17 Miami, correct?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So, and I know that's being extremely optimistic in regards to the fact that we really didn't see much from the offense on last Sunday. But I'm also 100% sure Shane Gailey knows that he's got to open this thing up. So, how much we'll find out for sure. But the defense, I think, is ready to do their job again. Will I see a repeat performance? Probably not, because now you're dealing with an even more explosive offense. But I think we still have the pieces. We still have the pieces in place to neutralize what they like to do best. So for me, short fields, getting the ball, shortly over half, midfield, and then putting together a sound, a sound bludgeon fest here or there, screens, some reverses, things like that, wide receiver screens, some deep post routes to Parker, opposite Pat Pete, because we're probably not going to throw at him much. With Williams catching the ball, I think we can do it. I think we can put up.
We hope Williams catches the ball.
Yeah. He's got to, man. Otherwise, he's going to be gone, bro. Ain't no sense of holding on to him if you can't do one thing that wide receiver is supposed to do. Catch the ball. That's it. You don't even have to be the fastest. And that brings me to a point that I was having.
I got to ask him before he can. Deepish, are you a Cardinals fan? Anyways, continue, ball game. Sorry. No, because he said Edmonds is way better than Drake, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I said 31-21 Miami wins. Yeah, you're right. There you go. There we go. So I still believe we have enough to do that. I don't think the defense takes any steps back. So it's going to be definitely must-see TV, even though it's not a primetime game. People that really want to see some real deal football being played, especially on the defensive side of the ball, need to tune in to see what this no-name Miami Dolphins defense is doing, because this thing's special. So,
and I want to explain, because I know a lot of people are going to be mad that I picked us to lose. Guys, there's a difference between objectively and subjectively.
Right.
Subjectively, we're going to win 34-10. Objectively, based off of the tape, what I've seen from this offense last week, because we literally need this offense to pull a 180 plus do it without our top two running backs. I just don't know how realistic that is. So objectively, like I said, my prediction, guys, is that we lose 33-17. Subjectively, as a Dolphins fan, we win 37-10. Okay. So, and Tua throws for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. I just haven't seen it yet.
Right.
If I would have seen it, and guys, this is why I stressed why I hated the Preston Williams and the Gaskin drops. They stole the opportunity for us as fans, us as film junkies, us as even for the coaches to see Tua sustain drives beyond midfield and how we could really drive this offense. If I would have seen even those 2 drives end with field goals and driven down to like the 10, we'd be talking a totally different ball game right now. Because now I've seen it with my eyes. Right now, I've seen great comeback route throws. I've seen them ID mics, hot routes. I've seen great intangibles from Tua, but they haven't opened him up, or at least showed me what it looks like when they open him up. And until they do that, I don't believe we can keep up with this offense. Because even if our defense plays good, they're still going to have more drives to put points on the board, and you're not going to shut these guys out. Now, if we hold them to 10, 13, 14 points, 17 points,
amazing
then that's an amazing day from the defense, and we got a shot even with not fully opening it up to beat them. So, I mean, but that's just a lot of variables. So I just got to go with my objective opinion. I mean, we ain't going to be perfect. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
I'll put you this way. Expect, as I look at the schedule for the next 4 games, expect another winning streak. That's all I'm going to say to you after this, okay? I think this is our last hard game until the Chiefs game.
That's true.
And, and our offense could be in rhythm by that Chiefs game where we can give their defense a lot of headaches. So, that's just where I'm at right now. So, but it ain't no slight anyone. I still love it. Y'all already know what it is.
Yeah, you get no arguments from me. I completely understand where you're coming from in regards to your prediction. I mean, it could get ugly, and it could get out of hand if we can't sustain some drives, and that has been for a lot of the last 20 years the Dolphins' issues of not being able to sustain drives and defense get ran down, and then next thing you know, the floodgates open up. So yeah, I can see it. I understand it. So.
Yeah, and I'm just telling you, man, I think it's better for the Cards that, like I said earlier, it's better for the Cards that Chase Edmonds is handling the workload.
Yeah,
so
King and Drake brings a whole different element.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. We got 155 in the room. I'll stretch it for guys. I'll give you another 13 minutes. We'll go to about an hour and a half. If any of you guys got questions, let's hear them right now. One of them is at Marino's Goat says, "What are you doing with the PS4 controller ball game?"
Oh, I was sending an invite to a guy for my CFM league.
There you go. I'm gonna be a savage. 1, 2, 3. The running backs for this game is probably gonna be committee. Salvin Ahmed will probably be starting as well. Howard will be starting, and then Salvin Ahmed, and then Patrick Laird will also be getting their touches.
Right.
EM Dolphin fan says, "I think Kyler struggles Sunday."
I'm not gonna argue with that one either. He is finna go up against some real deal dudes.
From the 305, Leo says, "Chan is 68. Dude's going to be alive for like 5 more years. We're going to need a new offensive coordinator." Steve Sarkisian, bro. I'm telling you. Kieran, what did the Lions do to make Kyler struggle? Well, here's the thing. Here's the connection. Patricia Flores.
Yeah.
What's the connection? Both come with the same defensive idealistics and fundamentals, man. So that is another thing that gives everyone hope. They still put up 20 plus points. I believe they lost like 27-23 or something like that.
Yeah.
Destin Williams says, "How do y'all feel about Perry getting more snaps?"
Love it. Love it. I love it. I love it because Tua's familiar with him. The more guys that they can get on the field that he's familiar with, the more comfortable he is, the better he is going to be for us, I believe. Comfortability for your quarterback leads to productivity. So, yeah.
Bob, the real 420 flipper savage. New subscriber, how good can this defense be? 85 Bears. I'll let defensive-minded ball. Better than the 85 Bears.
Yeah. We ain't ready yet.
Wow.
We ain't ready yet. We are probably, in my opinion, 2 players away from being probably the top defense in the league, and definitely on that caliber. We need another Mike linebacker, and we need a premier pass rusher.
So, can we prove we can stop the run? Yes, we can stop the run.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be about Raekwon and Benito holding their own in that middle.
And people got to remember too, bro, those guys are young, man. Mm-hmm. So they're still learning to be NFL defensive line players. You know what I'm saying? They were who they were in college, but they out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Ian's right, though. We should have brought back Jenkins, bro.
Jenkins, man. Yeah. Yeah, EM hit that one on the head, bro.
Yeah. From the 305, Leo, if Tua doesn't do good by the end of the season, do y'all think we're going to use the Texans pick to draft a QB? No,
we ain't talking about that.
Don't worry about that. Tua going to be fine, man. Yeah. Don't worry about that. That's just calling clown herd out here.
Yeah.
Look at like the MMA fortune teller. Shout out to him. He's a good homie. Can't believe the mainstream media throwing shade at Tua for his debut. It was his debut, and we didn't need him to do much. You could still see the accuracy he has. They will all realize soon. Exactly, man.
Yeah.
You could tell, man. He was doing things a lot of guys in their second year weren't even doing, and it was his freaking first start and second showing. Like, come on. Destin Williams, does Gesicki have a big game? Cards have trouble against TEs. Brother, I'm hoping. If anyone's hoping, it's me, because I've been an advocate of Gesicki getting 8 to 12 targets a game. Okay, because the guy's dynamic in open space. He's a matchup nightmare. And BallGame would know this too.
Yeah.
Tight ends are usually historically safety outlets and valves for rookie quarterbacks, which had me really. And hey, we already saw they had some kind of connection. He may not have made the catch, but that ball was perfect. Gesicki manipulated his body, got himself in a position to make the catch. It was a good defensive play, but like I said, top 5 tight ends make that catch.
Yeah, you're right.
So, Troy Hicks says, what's the most important position we should draft in the 2021 draft?
Right tackle.
I agree.
And then middle linebacker.
Yeah, and I would have wide receiver right up there too, man.
Yeah.
Wide receiver for sure. We got to start.
Those three positions in the first 3 picks need to be.
And running back.
Yeah,
give me a running back in a second.
We can get a running back in a second.
Give me a running back in a second, bro. I need it.
Yeah.
Jazza says, Tua stat prediction.
I'm saying 200. I'm saying 212 yards. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Ooh.
Yeah. 212, 2-1.
I'm going to go 175, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. I'm a Be a Savage says, should we be worried about DeAndre Hopkins?
No.
No, because X and
races for him.
And yeah, Byron have erased him out. Ready to put him up on the chalkboard.
Yeah.
Don says, what are your thoughts on the Texans this year going forward with their schedule? Well, actually, Dion, they have one of the hardest schedules in terms of strength of schedule left. Like, I think it's over like 580 in terms of winning percentage, their schedule. So they actually have one of the tougher schedules. And like I told all y'all how bad Romeo Crennel is. The guy was like a 347 winning percentage when he took over. He scared me and worried me with that first win, but came down to reality real quick after that. So I think we're good. Dominic, is it bad I'm starting Edmonds in fantasy as a Dolphins fan? No, it's a smart play, brother. I would do it too. Rhino predicts 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions.
Now you're being a fan. Now you're being too much of a fan.
Rami says, I don't know if y'all went over this, but how many yards do y'all think Byron holds D-Hop? Give them the prediction, BallGame. Last time they played, he held him to about like 80 yards.
I'm saying 85.
Ooh, I'm gonna say he holds D-Hop to 55 yards.
Oh no. I'm saying it's gonna be close to what he got last time, bro.
Kieran says, do you see a wide receiver popping off this game at Reason? Oh, by the way, that was the floor. The ceiling is like $120. Kieran says, do you see a wide receiver popping off this game at on our side of the ball, Kieran? You're not gonna hear me say Preston Williams. I could see Jakeem Grant having another good game.
Yeah,
because if you looked, I know BallGame talked about motions earlier. If you looked, a lot of our motions were designed to involve Jakeem Grant last week, and it was one of the most involved games I've seen him have in the Brian Flores era. So I said before the game, maybe there was a reason they kept Jakeem Grant around, after we saw that first down completion and heard about their connection in training camp. And that might just be so, man, because I'm telling y'all, they're going to a pistol horizontal offense. Speed kills in that kind of offense.
Mm-hmm.
You just want reliable hands and dynamic once the ball's in their hand to take it vertically.
I was arguing with a guy the other day,
and
man,
a natural separator.
telling him he was like, man, the Dolphins, we are loaded at wide receiver. I said we have decent wide receivers. He was like, they're better than decent. I said, listen, we only got one guy in that on that receiving group that can take the top off of defense. I said, you're not seeing Preston and Parker blow past dudes and get over the top of defense. That's not happening. I said, Jakeem Grant's the only guy we got that can do that. So tell me where all this other speed. He said, well, Parker was a 4.4 guy. I said, key word was. That was
And he's
5
hurt
years
right now.
ago when he was drafted. He ain't 4.4
And he's like,
now.
yeah, and he's like at 70-80% right now.
Yeah, like what are you watching, dude? Like, knock it off. Like,
and the thing is,
guys, but
and the thing is too, bro. First of all, he's not a natural separator.
No.
Second of all, once the ball's in his hands, bro, he's not taking it to the house.
Nope.
Okay, like it's just not happening most of the time. That's why I keep saying. I've said multiple times, Albert Wilson would feast right now, bro. That's what we need. Anyways, Bob the Real 420 Flipper Savage says, what would you like the Dolphins to do with our first 4 picks in the upcoming draft? Both answer.
Can I go first?
Go knock yourself out. Don't take my boy Panay, though.
Well, that's what we need.
I'm joking, bro.
Oh, go. Yeah. Right tackle. I said right tackle, middle linebacker, wide receiver, running back. That's easy. It's the easiest thing the Dolphins got to do. They can make their shopping list around it and look and see who's the best at those positions. If the guy that you don't get, you should be able to at least land the number 2 guy in each one of those spots because we got enough picks. And what we're picking at least with the Texans pick, we should be gravy in the first and second rounds, picking at the top of the pecking order. You know what I mean? For the top of both rounds.
So I'm taking Panay Sewell at 4 right now because I believe Lance, Fields, and Lawrence will be the top 3 off the board. I'm going Panay Sewell at 4. All right. If we come back with our second first round pick, I'm either taking Devontae Smith or I'm taking Jalen Waddle. And then I'm coming back at the top of the second. I'm taking Nick Bolton from that middle linebacker I love out of Missouri because I just think he's freaking so special. It looks like, dude, last year was his first 100-yard tackle season. He's on pace for over 100 tackles again this year, and it's a shortened season. Okay, so give me that all day, and he's a true Mike because I think Moses will be gone. And then that 4th pick, because right now where we're picking with that second pick, I think Moses will be gone. I don't know if he'll even be there right now. So I'm taking Devontae or Jalen. And then, I'm coming back, taking Nick Bolton at the top of the second. And then I'm probably addressing that running back after that. You might even flip it. If the board's falling where Najee's there and Bolton's way down, I would take Najee Harris at the top of the second and then come back for Bolton. But if Bolton looks like he's gonna go high, I'm jumping over Bolton, and then I'm gonna address the running back with that other second round pick.
Either way, I think we should address getting Tua his toys. In the top order of the draft, and then if we need this, the next year's draft is still going to be deep with some really good defensive players in the 3rd round, 3rd and 4th round too. It's going to be deep enough.
Tyler Shelvin, baby.
Huh?
Tyler Shelvin.
There you go.
LSU defensive tackle. No,
get out my head, man.
Yeah.
Get out my head.
It's a beast, bro.
Yeah.
All right, man. So we're hitting the hour and a half mark. We got 160 in the room. What are you up to, ball game? You want to get out of here, or do you want to let people come on?
Yeah, I gotta go walk my dog, man. He's sitting there looking at me pissed off.
Guy, I'm gonna drop the link for some of y'all to join me backstage if you want to after we're done here. Other than that, give me your final thoughts, ball game. We'll get out of here.
I like the fact that last week this team gave the fan base and anyone that was willing to stand on their square and talk crazy about us something to talk about and believe in, because we were, I think, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the most discussed teams throughout the week after the performance the defense had on Sunday. Whether they were good comments from some knuckleheads or bad comments, I think at this point where we are compared to where we were last year, it's all good publicity for the team. I always still caution the true fans of this team to be patient, right? We went from a 17-year, right, journeyman quarterback to a brand new rookie quarterback, so there are going to be some growing pains, right? But this kid is, and you're hearing it from BallGame, who was not a fan of Tua Tagovailoa at first, but having gone back and done my research and watched extensively this kid playing and slowing things down and watching how accurate he was with the ball, this kid is going to be special for us. I'm not going to jump out any ridiculous windows and think that he's going to go out there and throw 400 yards a game because I don't think he needs to with the defense that we've assembled around him to help support him. He does need some better toys to work with. The ones we have are adequate, but you can always add to this offense to make it more explosive, and I think that's what we'll address in the offseason. But just let him work, people. Give him time. You know what I'm saying? Rome wasn't built in a day, and I don't expect Tua Tagovailoa to be anything other than the quarterback that we've needed for the last 20 years over time. But he's got to get there. He's still a kid. Remember that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't come out Dan Marino, and Dan Marino wasn't Dan Marino right out the gate. He was supported by a very good defense and very good veteran players. So temper your expectations and just be glad that our guy's in the building and he's on the field. So,
all right, brother. I'm gonna keep it going because our backstage filled up.
All right,
I appreciate you for coming on, brother, and doing this with me. I'm
gonna
keep it rolling for a little bit, my dude.
Anytime.
You have a good night, my friend. All right.
You too, bro. Love you, man.
Love you, brother. Have a good night.
All right.
Rhino, what's good, homie?
Oh, brother.
How you doing, bro?
Really excited about Sunday. It's going to be very exciting, I think.
I could tell. I wanted to get you on before I start bringing people. Because, guys, I'm going to keep it roll. I'm going to keep it rolling here, everyone. I know we've lost like 20 people since I announced that, but it's all good. I just want to get Rhino's thoughts here before we start opening up. I'll keep dropping the link for y'all. But, my dude, y'all are really optimistic, huh?
I think realistically, 225, 250. I'm trolling with the 350.
Oh, you were? Yeah, I hope you were. I was like, damn.
I think even though I think flow is the main reason why we're so conservative right now, that last game, that's my opinion. I think he won let's keep it simple for Tua is what the plan was. And then with the team exploding every other area with special teams and defense, there's no point in putting anything on film. That's how I see it. That flows MO to me. It's conservative at first and then go from there. But I think 225, 250, two touchdowns is good.
Yeah, that's realistic.
I think they're going to have problems with the Cardinals defense. I really do. They're on their fourth defensive back, apparently, from what I understand. They have a lot of injuries. Is that right or wrong?
Yeah, that is. But the injuries have been there, and they've still managed to play at a pretty good level because they have Vance Joseph, right? Who you might be familiar with as their defensive coordinator. So, they're actually still – and Patrick Peterson isn't even having that great of a year, but the defense is still pretty good.
I think it's been great, a lot of
you know what I mean? You're not going to write home about it.
Right. I just think we've had a lot of players hurt. I think this is the week where they get healthy. I really believe that it's going to come together on the passing offense. I think it was, like I said, it was a plan to keep him conservative too, and I think they're going to let it go a little bit this week. Because they have to. We have no proven rushing attack. We have to do it. It has to be part of the game plan. It just has to be.
Okay, now I want to get this man's thoughts because he was the first person I thought of when those injuries came through. Pyro, how you feeling about all those injuries, bro?
Not good, man. I'm very nervous now. Now that these the reports come out about these injuries, I was very optimistic. I was about to say I was estimating 200 yards, but man, I don't know we're gonna even get to 50 because I don't know. I'm very nervous. I am very nervous, man. I do not like.
Well, what you basically need is Salvin Ahmed to get to 60 yards, and then you need Laird and Howard to, get 40, 50 between the two of them, and we'll be all right. You need over 100 yards combined between the committee. You don't need 100 yards from one guy.
No, I know. I'm just talking about overall.
I'm as worried as you, bro. Like, it's ridiculous.
I mean,
it's 30 points. Good luck. I'm telling you right now. Good luck. Unless the defense scores 21. Good luck, brother. I'm sorry, man. And that's based off of what they've shown me so far. You need literally a complete 180 in terms of you got to go from a vanilla offense to it better be a chocolate sundae with sprinkles, whipped cream, cherries, banana, all the fixins, bananas, all that ish better be on there. Because if it ain't, you're going to be in a serious problem. Because like I said, you can get turnovers. That's no problem. Problem is if the offense goes 3 and out. The offense goes 3 and out or only runs a 6, 7, 8, 9 play drive and come away with no points. What good is that? Because then the defense comes back on the field and we're going against the number 1 no huddle defense in the NFL. And when did the Rams start putting points on us in the second half last week when they went to the no huddle?
And then also a reason I think that sometimes when Gailey does be hitting it, it's usually during the first half of the game
when it's the most scripted plays of the game.
Yeah. And then it goes downhill from there. I swear, man. The
brother, I heard about all these great halftime adjustments when we brought him in, and all I've seen is the run game gets poor in the second half after it comes out of the gates in the first half like a bat out of hell.
And typical passing calls. I mean, it's
passing calls on 3rd and 3, and like, what are you doing, man?
I mean,
like,
it's one dimensional. It's like I don't know because people say, "Oh, he's a great coordinator." I don't see it. So far, we've been 8 games in.
So he's not good when
I'm on to something with this Steve Sarkisian thing. Don't think I ain't, bro.
But wait, he's not good when he gets to the big lead in the first half. That's where you guys lose me all the time. If he's able to get these leads besides the last game,
but he's not getting these leads. The defense is.
Yeah, well, whatever it may be, that's what the situation is.
Look at the Seattle game. Why did we lose the Seattle game? It wasn't just Fitz. It was because of the play calling.
You can put it on defense too. You can put that on defense as well.
No, but I'll pull it on Chan Gailey. Why are you?
You can, but I don't have to. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I think you don't have to, but I've gave multiple instances in that game alone of 3rd down where he made a poor play call and it ended the drive.
Of course he did.
Rhino, I disagree.
Of course he did, but the point is that if they did do the play properly and it did work, we wouldn't be saying that. And I understand that's a cheap way of getting out of it, but the point I'm trying to make is that
it's true because you can run all your routes, but if the coverage is tight and there's nothing downfield like there was in that play, what can you do? You've ran it. All your receivers and all your personnel, and he had a pocket. All your receivers and all your personnel have done their job. Just the thing is, the defense did theirs, and you could have ran the ball when you were having success of running the ball in that game specifically. Same thing on 3rd down. After
I'm not removing flow from the math.
But that's not
all
flow.
I'm saying.
That's Chan Gailey.
I don't know that. I don't know that. I'm not saying you're wrong.
He called the offensive plays.
I understand that. I understand that, but there is a philosophy that a head coach puts on a team, and if he says to his offensive coach, "Go conservative," the OC goes conservative. If he says, "Go for it," he goes for it. I don't know if that's the fact. That's just the feel I get from watching the games. I may be wrong. That's all I'm saying.
Well, when they brought in Chan Gailey, he highlighted multiple reasons for bringing him in, and a few of them were he didn't have to worry about the play calling.
Mm-hmm.
B, because what went down with Chad O'Shea. B, for his halftime adjustments. Those are 2 of the things they highlighted. So that right there tells you I'm giving him the play calling. I mean, they highlighted about how good.
Yeah, but I'm saying
genius this guy is. So,
what I'm saying is that flow goes go conservative calling. He may say go for it calling. He's not in there telling him what play to call. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, hey, Chan, this is Flo talking to Chan. Hey, we have a 15-point lead, a 10-point lead. We don't have to do the big stuff. Let's just do the normal stuff.
But I'm talking about the Seattle game where we didn't have any of that.
I understand that. There was a bad situation when it came to, in my opinion, Fitz made a lot of bad calls.
But there's multiple. I brought up the Wildcat situation too in that game. There was multiple bad calls, and this has been something that even EM has agreed with wholeheartedly. Chan Gailey's play calling has not been that good this year.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, please keep
a factor.
Of course it is. I'm just saying, please keep in mind that Flo may want to have a certain type of offense to run at times, and he may not. That's all I'm saying. He's the head coach. He sets the limit for the team, is what I'm saying. And I think Flo is very conservative. That's my opinion.
I see what you're saying, Rhino, but I get both of you guys' points, but while I lean towards reason more, because you gotta look at this. We was behind that game, and
Seattle.
Yeah, the Seattle game. That's why I'm targeting that, not the other games, but the Seattle game. We was really behind. I would say touchdown, and we had plenty of opportunity to either take the lead or to tie it up. But what I was thinking that this game right here that's coming up will really debunk what either side is saying right now. This game right here will debunk what either side, what reason is saying, and what you are saying. If Gailey does, preach what he's telling and make his halftime adjustments and do great play calling, then I would say
I don't care who it is, whether it's Flo or whether it's Chan Gailey. If they come out and they're conservative, there's something wrong somewhere. That I agree with.
Yeah, but even our offense was trash in the second half of the San Francisco game. It wasn't that good.
No, it wasn't. They definitely pulled back.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, Reason, can I get up in here real quick? Just I got something to say about what you guys are talking about that Flo mentioned a couple of weeks back. I mean, he did mention coming out heavy on offense, and he was liking getting up early. I don't know if y'all remember that interview, but I remember him saying that. So I know what Rhino was saying was that he likes to be conservative, but he has said this year in the interview that he didn't mind getting up early, like we did in that Jaguar game.
I think Fitz was the problem more so in the Seattle game. That's just my view. I think he made a lot of poor decisions in that game. That's how I saw that game. And of course, there were some bad calls. There's never a perfect game, right?
Yeah, but it's in terms of I'm talking about not the first.
I don't know. The running game should be an indictment on Chan Gailey as an offensive coordinator in the second half all year. That's been one of the most consistent thing about our run game is exactly, was it you, Pyro, who mentioned the first half looked like a different team because of the most scripted plays. And like I've said multiple weeks before, I've said the problem with Chan Gailey is once you get off script, we're not getting anything.
Yeah. Like the for a good example, put in Jordan Howard when you seen
when Breda and Gaskin were having a good first half.
Good rhythm.
Well, I blame that on you, Pyro. I blame that on you.
No, I ain't. Hey, hold up now.
And then it caused a domino effect because of Jordan Howard getting blown up on the first run play. They had to leave him in for the screen. They left Jordan Howard of all your running backs in for the screen. The slowest guy, the one who's playing the worst out of all of them, because they had to keep him honest. You know why? Because he got blown up because they knew as soon as Jordan Howard came in the game, they're running it. So they had to come back and have him involved in the screen game to try and keep the defense honest. And then he got blown up on the screen too.
Makes no sense, yeah.
But again, that's bad. That's bad personnel change and bad play calling led to now you're in a position where you wasted a second play just because you had to keep them honest because everyone in the world, like 6 billion people, knew you were about to run the ball. And you're like, oh, crap, that's why they blew it up. Now let's write a screenplay with this guy who's as good of a freaking pylon right now.
That was the Seattle game, right? I believe, right? And I think we was driving, too. We was driving that game before when we put Jordan Howard in.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, man.
It completely just killed the momentum. Go ahead.
I have a question for you guys. If Chan Gailey's play calling continues to be either horrid or too inconsistent this season, do you think Brian Flores looks for another coordinator, maybe like you said, a Steve Sarkisian, or maybe the second in command for Dabble Sweeney at Clemson, maybe the guy from Clemson.
I think he was only going.
That's
I think he was only going to be. I think Chan. I said this since we the hiring. I think that it was a 3-year plan max with Chan. Anyways, the guy's 68 years old.
Yeah.
He's not going to be 71, 72 roaming the sideline or sitting upstairs sleeping in the press box. It's not going to be happening.
I swear to God.
What are you talking about? Wade Phillips is still.
But here's the thing:
as a D coordinator.
Yeah, but Wade Phillips hasn't left the game for as long as Chan did.
Oh,
Chan's already showed that he's willing to walk
saying.
away. Chan's already showed that he's willing to walk away, and he's got no problem. And my problem is if everyone comes out about how if we make the playoffs or we don't, and everyone says, if we don't, and the defense, and everyone says the defense was good enough where we should have, who do you think's going to take that blame? If we get to the playoffs, and everyone's like the defense got us to the playoffs, and our offense, which probably will happen, gets absolutely shut out in the first round because it's a totally different game. I know Dolphin fans haven't been to the playoffs for like how long now, but it's a totally different game in the playoffs than it is during the regular season. That's why Lamar struggles so much the way he does.
But there's a counter argument to that. The counter argument, in my opinion, is that you don't want to have Tua in so many offenses through his career. You want a little bit of stability.
I'm not done my point. So,
sorry,
because I'm leading to something like that. So now the problem you're going to come into is now people are still going to say offense got us to the playoffs. Defense got us to the playoffs. Offense couldn't get us out of the first round. Who's going to take the blame for that? Because I'm telling you right now, he looks archaic. His play calling in the second half is archaic. No one's going to tell me any different. I have not seen a full 4 quarters greatly executed by Chan Gailey. Even that Jaguars game, we should have blown him out by more. It wasn't even close. And Fitz didn't really have to do much. Fitz only had to throw the ball 22 times. But I haven't seen from first whistle to last whistle. So what's going to happen, I think, is it's already a 2 or 3 year plan in place with him because of how old he is. All right. And another thing, too, is Wade Phillips will still walk in the sideline. Chan Gailey want nothing to do with that. So, I mean, take that for as he's already half checked out as far as I can tell. The guy's like half falling asleep. So the problem you're going to run into now is if they're going to continue with this horizontal pistol and then mix in the RPO offense, which works the best to the traits of the quarterback you drafted, you have to treat the offense like the defense. Now you have to start turning over players because now you guys are seeing the results of 2 years of turning over a 4-3 wide 9 base defense to a 3-4 defense. It took 2 years. Okay. Now you got to start turning over the weapons. We do not have the weapons necessary for a horizontal pistol RPO offense. We just don't. Athletic profile wise, we don't. We don't have one single natural separator in that receiving core. We don't have anyone who's dynamic after the ball's in their hands in terms of yak ability. We don't. We just don't. Those are essential for a horizontal offense. And again, our running back situation is an absolute shit show. I don't think many people would disagree with that. We clearly need a running back. And so we right now don't have the weapons for what they're also trying to install. But here on the flip side, I don't know if I could trust Chan Gailey to fully utilize him right now because, yeah, he's a genius with the RPO, but the RPO is different. What's been successful right now, it's a lot different than what his RPO predicates the pass a little bit more. Where you look at the RPOs that are really successful, especially at the collegiate level and even the NFL, they all have good running games out of the RPO. And he necessarily doesn't even if you go back to the Jets when they ran some RPO in that spread offense, it was more of a running back committee. And it wasn't anyone big named. So it wasn't anyone who you could, they could be your Pelgal back. You can put 25, 30 carries on them if you have to. Plus, that's why they went after Le'Veon Bell, people. Because the guy, you can target him 100 times and he can run the ball 300 times. That's why they went after Le'Veon Bell. And the size he is, and he's got the explosive first step, that's why they went after him. because he's a legitimate dual threat who can handle a bell cow workload as a dual threat. That's why they were willing to go 2 years on him. Why do you think that is? Because he's a perfect fit because of his ability to do that. And there's not as much wear and tear on the tires as a lot of people thought there would be when he signed that contract coming out of Pittsburgh. So
but you understand
now once they start building this offense, if Gailey goes, why I'm saying Steve Sarkisian is because I'm keeping the RPO foundation to this offense, because you either need to find an RPO spread pistol whiz, or you need to go and pluck from Chan Gailey's coaching tree from offensive minds that share the same philosophy. But see, now by going to this, you've kind of narrowed down the field. It's not, we are going to, I don't want to call it a gimmick based, but we're going to a special offense. We're not going to your everyday condensed offense. So
that's what I'm saying. Why not go, instead of going to Steve Sarkisian, like you said, maybe go to like the guy underneath Dabo Sweeney at Clemson, or maybe Ryan Day, the guy from.
Why would I go? Why would I go to anyone else when my quarterback's from Alabama and just worked under Steve Sarkisian? And I have the capital where I can draft a Devontae Smith or a Jalen Waddle, who Steve Sarkisian is familiar with, and I can even draft Najee Harris, so I can give him a running back, a receiver, and his starting quarterback. That's the smart
the reason
play.
why I said that is because you're worried. The Steve Sarkisian, is he underneath the Chan Gailey coaching?
No, but he's an RPO. He's an RPO. He's RPO.
He's not a pistol RPO. Like
yes, he is. They run pistol.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why not evolve the offense to maybe go to like a Ryan Day or Dabo Sweeney, because it seems that's where the offense is going in the NFL, more towards Dabo Sweeney and
yeah, but Clemson runs the RPO. Clemson isn't like a condensed pro style off. They run a lot of spread concepts. They run RPOs. They run options.
Oh, but you know what I'm saying?
What would be
the NFL is going more towards that
RPO.
Offense.
It's going RPO. Dude, they even just last year in their update of Madden, what was one of their main updates? They put the RPO into Madden last year because RPO is the next wave. And that's, I mean, you don't got to be a genius to figure this out. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa is the best RPO quarterback to ever come from the collegiate level. They were targeting
even better than Trevor?
He's more polished than he's more polished than what Trevor was coming out. Trevor Lawrence is not the most polished.
Trevor is the
Who's they? The same people on ESPN who say we have the worst offensive line in the NFL? Trevor's not the most polished. Trevor's the most natural and prototypical gifted guy. He's not the most polished quarterback. He's not as polished as what Andrew Luck was coming out.
I don't follow ESPN. The people I follow actually are former GMs who work at like XM Radio, who do those shows, and they knew how to evaluate talent and stuff like that. I'm following like the guys like
Bro, Tannenbaum was a GM. Tannenbaum was a GM, and look what he said about Tua last year.
I don't trust Tannenbaum as far as I can throw him.
That's a GM, and he's on satellite radio.
Hall of Fame GMs like Bill Polian and stuff, who had success evaluating.
Yeah, Bill Polian crapped on to the Tua pick last year too.
He said actually he liked the pick. Actually,
no, Bill Polian, I can pull it up right now and
he flipped.
Pull it up. Bill Polian did not like Tua Tagovailoa coming out of Alabama because of his size and his injury history.
No, my mistake. Not Bill Polian. Gil Brandt.
Yeah, but Gil Brandt was a scout. Like he's a Hall of Fame scout.
That's what I'm saying. I trust.
Anyways, where are we going with this? Now we're just like Trevor's naturally gifted, but he's not as polished.
You're breaking up,
Esteban, you're breaking up badly. Trevor Lawrence is not polished mechanically like how Tua was, and not even how Joe Burrow was coming out.
Okay, so you think he's a little bit over?
Sorry, fellas, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's overhyped. I think he's a gifted passer and he's naturally talented. I'll tell you this: Sam Howell's going to be better.
Sam Howell, the guy from North Carolina?
Yes, sir.
Honestly, I know you watch tape, but I watch the ACC and I'm a Hurricanes fan. He's a little bit overrated.
Sam Howell had one of the best freshman seasons I've ever seen. He had a slow start to this year, and he's been absolutely lighting it up with Miami Brown. That kid is special. You look at his footwork even as a freshman was so special. That guy has the best feet I've seen since Tua.
Actually, no, the reason why I'm saying he's a little bit overrated is he's learning under a guy who tutored both Eli and Peyton, so he has a benefit of that and stuff like that. So that's why I'm saying he's a little bit over.
But how is that a negative? But how would that be a negative though?
Yeah, it'll be a positive for me.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, if you put Sam Howell at Clemson, he's putting up the same numbers Trevor Lawrence is.
I agree.
And you can say the same thing about
North Carolina's defense is trash.
Other than Chaz Surratt, I ain't touching anyone on that defense.
Trevor, if he had the development in his mechanics with David Cutcliffe, he would be a little bit better with his mechanics. I think Dabo doesn't know how to develop the quarterback when it comes to mechanics, but David Cutcliffe does. That's what I'm trying to say. Is we're paying attention to the development of the quarterback. Look at Daniel Jones. He's not a success, and he came out of that system. So that's what I'm saying. Tone down your expectations for Sam Howell. I'm looking at Daniel Jones.
I didn't like Daniel Jones. You can't even compare Sam Howell and Daniel Jones. Night and day in the pocket. That is a terrible comparison. That is absolutely awful. Night and day in the pocket. He does not even have half of Sam Howell's pocket presence. He doesn't even have half of Sam Howell's arm. Sam Howell has a very, very special arm. Very, very special. And he's got a hop step that, again, you brought it up, I haven't seen since Peyton Manning. He's got beautiful footwork. You put him and he was like that coming out of high school. Sam Howell was very highly touted coming out of high school. So highly that Chaz Surratt was the QB of North Carolina, and instead he changed to become an interior linebacker. And now he's a top 5 interior linebacker coming out in this draft. Sam Howell's the reason why he stopped being the North Carolina quarterback. Sam Howell is very, very special, man. So I don't know what world you're talking about, because Sam Howell is better than Sam Howell is going to be QB1 next year. Slovis is not better than Sam Howell. Jaden Daniels doesn't have the prototypical size he has. Sam Howell is going to be QB1. And Sam Howell in 5 years is going to be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
So you think he's better than Tua when it comes to footwork and development-wise?
When did I say that? When did I say that?
No.
God gave you ears, use them, my friend. I said he had the best footwork I've seen since Tua. That's not saying he's better than Tua.
I thought you were comparing their pocket presence.
I wasn't comparing him to Tua at all.
Okay. Sorry, I made a mistake. I apologize.
I was comparing him to Trevor Lawrence, and I said he's going to be better than Trevor Lawrence. And if you put him in Clemson, they ain't losing in a national championship. Maybe last year because of Burrow's year, but they'd be right back to where they are this year. He doesn't have anything like his Miami Brown. What is that? That's not Justin Ross. That's not T. Higgins. That's not even Travis Etienne. So, I mean, you're talking about a guy who's way better mechanically and more polished with a way lesser offense. And, I mean, like I said, that freshman season he had last year, 38 touchdowns, 5 interceptions as a freshman. at North Carolina. We're not talking about like an SEC powerhouse here. So, I mean, and a lot of them were special throws. So I'm like Sam Howell is definitely a special prospect, man. So I will not take Sam Howell slander on this channel. All right. Yo, let's get back because I don't know why we got so off topic there.
Sorry about that. That was my fault.
Esteban, I know you wanted to say something, bro.
Yeah, man. So I think we're all kind of like, it's a consensus. We're starting to get frustrated with Chan Gailey's in-game adjustments, second half adjustments, man. I mean, I know you're talking about Sarkisian, but I've heard like this week he's getting offers from other schools to be a head coach, man.
That's the thing. You're gonna have to pull him up, man.
Yeah, man. So that's what's kind of worrying me. So like, what would be plan B, yo? Like, what will we do if I don't know if Chan doesn't end up being
plan A is to keep
you ride it out.
Plan A.
Well, I mean, if Sarkisian's your plan A, then what would be your plan B?
You got to start plucking. You got to start looking at his tree.
Yeah. Well, that's true, man. I want somebody that's going to be in for the long haul. At least give us. Let's say Tua's just the mind that we all hope for him to be, to where he can get to a point to where he's, he can start playing calls changing plays in game on his own, and become somewhat like Eli. But I think you got to give him at least maybe a 2-year window to do that, So we need somebody that's going to be here for at least 2 to 3 years.
That's what I think the plan was, 2 or 3 years with Gailey, because he's 68. He even said that if you actually have followed along his Zooms, he said he didn't want to come out of retirement, but it was because Fitz.
Yeah. Do you think they're training anybody on the staff, the offensive coaching staff, to replace Gailey? Maybe.
I have no idea.
Reason?
I just said I have no idea, bro.
You don't know.
Okay. No, that's why I'm wondering. Maybe they're waiting for someone in that coaching staff is training under Chan Gailey to replace him.
There's a quarterback coach that's been around Gailey for years. That would be the most likely replacement on staff.
Yeah, he's with them at the Jets. But
yeah. So
I
don't think that's plan A. 100%. Yeah.
So, I mean, he would have got it by now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the problem is you're going to have to, like, if you're going to the college ranks, you can't. Head coaches are going to want head coach jobs. Mm-hmm. So you have to, like, that's why Steve Sarkisian is literally so perfect. It's unbelievable. You can literally bring Alabama to the pro level because they basically run spread RPO pro style concepts. Like, and
lastly from Miami.
He's heavy on the run. Steve Sarkisian loves the run. Like I've talked about this on RPOs, like if there's 3 receivers, usually only the running back and 1 receiver, and it's usually to the same side, will be the passing options. The other 2 guys on the other side will be dummies because he's like, if I start giving too many pass options, all of a sudden we become a pass defense, and he's like, I like to base my RPO off the run.
Yes.
And you saw it. And here's the thing. LSU game. How good was Tua in the first half compared to the second half? And why? The second half, Najee Harris got more involved.
Yep.
That's what I'm telling you. For the RPO and the pistol to work, why do you think I'm so worried about this weekend? For what we want to do for horizontal offense, for like pistol, RPO, horizontal, you're reading safeties and linebackers, man. And, it's, your decision to pass or run is predicated off of the safeties or the linebackers.
Yeah, they came out with some balance in that second half of that game, man.
Are there offensive
100%?
Are our offensive linemen specifically meant for the RPO offense, though? The big, hulking, like Robert Hunt and Solomon Kinley?
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it's not really like with RPO offense, it's not really that big of a, because it's running. Because basically what you're doing with an RPO is it's the same concept whether you're throwing the ball or running on that play. For example, if we're running to the right side, if I got my Z receiver to the right and he's running a slant and then my running back is running like, I don't know, a lead to the right in the RPO. And let's say, I don't know, some guys are, let's say we're slide blocking to the right. They're still going to be slide blocking whether I hand the ball off or not, because basically what the quarterback's job to do is identify, all right, is the safety up in the box or are they too high? If they're too high, I'm running the ball. If they're one high, I'm passing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what you got to do. And then, like for tight ends and stuff like that, if the tight end is the target, now you got to start looking at like what the linebackers doing and stuff like that. So it's basically, and the ball is going to be out.
Quick.
Like you saw, the time to throw for Tua on Sunday was 2.27 seconds.
Quick, and it was
that was by design. You know what I mean? So
That's
like quick and out. So RPO gets the ball out of your hands really quick too.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we don't have the weapons, especially this weekend with the running back situation, unless Salvin Ahmed pops off. We don't in the receiving core.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, we don't have the
Dalvin
weapons right now.
Dalvin Thomas, you mean?
What do you mean?
Oh,
Salvin Ahmed, our running back.
The guy we traded for from the Chiefs.
DeAndre Washington.
Yeah, Washington.
He's not playing this weekend. He's not playing this weekend. He's going through protocol.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was.
Which I thought he must have been on the practice squad, because from what I believed a couple weeks ago was if a guy's released and you pick him up, then you got to go through that stuff. If he's not released and he's traded, from what I understood, it was just from one protocol to another. So you could just play, but he must have been on the practice squad or something like that, or a healthy scratch or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
That's why he's not a factor in this game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
do y'all think do y'all believe that Arizona's faced a defense like ours, at least a secondary like ours, all year?
No, I don't think so. Except
no,
maybe
because Seattle's the latest defense, and we know how bad their secondary is.
What injuries were you guys saying that we had, or was it their team?
Braid is out. They got a couple injury out. Drake Kirkpatrick's out. Byron Murphy, he's on COVID, but he can be activated in time for the game. One of the corners. Kenyon Drake is out. Looks like Austin Jackson might be good enough to go.
So nobody has a running back in this game. Will we go into at least on our side?
We got a running back.
Everyone's sleeping on Chase Edmonds. Y'all are about to be woken up by this guy. I'm telling you, Chase Edmonds is very, very good. And we had some Cardinals fans earlier after I was highlighting. They were saying like low key, thank God Kenyon's out because Chase Edmonds the better back.
Yeah.
Bro, straight up, I'll take my chances with Laird. You know what I mean?
Edmonds is way better than Laird.
No. I'm talking about on our side. On our side, I didn't know Breda was out, man.
Bro, Salvin Ahmed, what do you got, bro? Because from everything I've seen, he's the closest thing we got to Myles Gaskin now, and he's got like 4.3 speed. What do you got, boy? Like,
really?
I'm telling you, yeah, he's got like it's like lower mid 4.3 speed. If he doesn't, I'm telling you, bro. All these Dolphin fans, depending on Jordan Howard, tell me what you're smoking and where I can buy it, because I need that good, bro. Because you're leaning on a guy who's averaging 0.8 yards per carry. Let me know how that works out, bro. Trends like that just don't change overnight, man. Especially if we're in a pistol. The problem with the pistol is Jordan Howard is a power eye from under center back. He's not a guy you give the ball to 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage and say, oh, go get us some yards. Dude, he doesn't have a quick first step. He doesn't have quick feet like that. Like, you need a guy with a quick initial burst, short area burst to get out and get off in that situation. That's why Braden Gaskin are better at that. Jordan Howard is not ideal. That's why I'm hoping Salvin Ahmed gets a few big carries early on. They notice him with the hot hand and they just say, run with it, boy. That's the best case scenario. Him or Laird. Laird.
Long as they protect that ball, reason why they're running with it, man.
Well, that's the other thing. I had no turnover because we don't know what to expect from Salvin Ahmed, right? But Salvin Ahmed and Laird look like they're going to be more deadly in the passing game too than what Howard's going to offer you.
Yep.
Well, Howard's basically like putting a freaking Might as well put a pylon out there with the 34 jersey and say, "Go get me a yard, bro."
Hey,
Is-
just lay down on the
Steven, is
field
on
and
that
hopefully slow down their pass rush or
Is he
something.
big enough to handle
Yo, just roll. Just roll. Just ride out and roll, bro. Just keep rolling, all right?
Yeah, just be a body.
Hey man, I got to take for the game, yo, because I know that Kyler's deadly outside the pocket with his feet, and I was thinking, man, what if we put pressure on this dude?
You've been
Yeah.
around since I started doing this last October. You know how much I love me some Kyler Murray, bro.
Yeah, I know, man, but I seen.
I argued with all those mofos, and I said, "Yo, he's gonna be rookie of the year." Nah, and albeit Josh Jacobs went down, thank God, but I was right. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a talent.
That's why I wanted for that draft, man.
I think he his 40 was 4.4. You know, the dude played baseball.
He's got a
he's ridiculous. I know he's a good player, man. I actually wanted him for us, but you know, he's on the other side. So I think our best opportunity in this game is just to put pressure on him and get him to get rid of the ball rather than him. I know we want sacks, you know, but I just feel like containing somebody like that.
Yeah.
If he gets outside the pocket, you're screwed. But if you can get him to get rid of the ball, you know, then we got that secondary, man.
If he beat, you know what you got to do? You contain him to the pocket because you know what you got to say with a guy like that? If he beats me from the pocket, he beats me from the pocket. What can I do?
That's what I'm saying, man, because if you saw that
right? Because with Josh Allen, when we went into that game, one of our keys was keep him to the pocket, contain to the pocket. They did, but he put up 417 yards. I mean, no one in their mother saw that one coming. But hey, that's one you take on the chin. You say you were just the better guy than what we put in front of you today. That's all you can do, man.
I seen I forgot what primetime game I was watching with the Cards where if you put pressure on him immediately and force him to make a quick decision, he can be inaccurate at times. Just as any quarterback, man. You know what I mean? Downfield.
Are you saying he had
well, you saw what happened with the zero blitz against Jared Goff. That's exactly what happened, right? Yeah. They got their hands up in passing lanes. They made themselves they made themselves look really big, right? And take away things.
Pyro.
No homo. And they made themselves look really big and take away stuff, right? And then it caused problems, and Jared Goff is throwing off his bad foot. That's why he's getting intercepted and stuff. You do that to any quarterback, like you said, and you'll be. The problem I see is a lot of our pressure comes from the edge. We don't consistently get pressure up the middle, and you arc them out. You arc them out wide, and those B gaps all of a sudden become really titillizing for you to step up and move out of. And then all of a sudden, now guys are off their marks, off their spots, and all hell is breaking loose outside the pocket. I don't want to see none of that, man. We see some of that, it's going to be a long day, bro. Especially if they're doing that consistently out of a no-huddle offense. I mean, guys, I'll say it again for the third time on this show. Number one no-huddle offense in the NFL against a team who last week, when the Rams were putting up points against us, guess what? It was out of the no-huddle. That's concern.
And we especially can't let our defense stay on the field like last game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Against a no huddle, they'll be dead by the third quarter. Like they'll come out of halftime huffing and puffing. Jonathan Ayala, shout out to Finn's Line, follow them on Instagram, says Malcolm Perry at running back this upcoming game, or will he play various positions? Shout out to the Wildcat, baby. Let's go. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I can see Malcolm Perry. I want to see him get used more and more because I know he's not that dynamic speed or that natural separator I'm talking about, but he's so quick. And you like to see that. And they've got chemistry, and you can't put a price on chemistry, man.
Yeah.
So
hopefully we may even see Wingstop.
Matt Collins?
Yeah, Hollins.
They're running routes last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We could see more Matt Hollins. So I
want to see more. Honestly, I'd rather see Lynn Bowden at running back.
He's out. He's on COVID.
COVID.
He got COVID.
He's out.
He got COVID?
He's on the COVID list. Yeah,
he's on the COVID list.
All right. So I'm going to go through final thoughts here, guys, because I want to get out of here because I've already been going for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Rhino, we'll start with you, brother. We'll give you your final thoughts.
31-17 Dolphins. Peace out.
Oh my God.
All right, Pyro, you're up, bro.
I'm not that optimistic. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say 24-14, Arizona winning. I'm just not optimistic about the running game, and I think that's gonna bite us in the butt. They're gonna do exactly what the Rams did in the second half, win our defense, and then just slowly but surely put that dagger in the heart. And that's what it says. That's it. We just gotta learn from this game and move forward from that. And as always, gotta say it every week. Root against the Texans. You have to root against the Texans. I'm looking at you, Anthony. You gotta root. You gotta root against the Texans, man.
Yeah. To get Sewell.
Yeah, man, get Sewell, baby.
All right, Anthony, let's hear your final thoughts.
My prediction is 19-14 Cardinals, to be honest. I agree with Pyro. I'm not that optimistic. We have to keep Kyler Murray inside the pocket, and honestly, I don't think our defensive line can do that realistically. In my honest opinion.
Esteban, if you are actually there, because it looks like your mic's muted, give me your final thought.
Yeah, man, we're gonna win. We're gonna do some bump and run, sending blitz from different areas of the line of scrimmage. I feel that the pit bull is gonna be released, and Tua's he's gonna be a competitor in this game, man. I think he's gonna show us something. We're gonna win. I don't know how. And as far as Jakeem Grant go in that run game, if you at first you don't succeed, dust your nuts off and try it again. I don't know what else to say, man. We just got to keep getting after it.
Yeah. All right, man. All right. So, yeah, boys. Okay. So we hit the 2 hour 17 mark. I appreciate all y'all for spending your Friday night. I'm going to be back on Sunday. Y'all already know what time it is. I'll be back probably around like 3:30 in the afternoon, maybe an hour, 45 minutes before the game actually starts, because I believe it's a 4:25 kickoff. But y'all already saw my prediction earlier. I don't gotta say it again. Y'all already know what time it is. Until then, I'll see y'all on Sunday, and I hope everyone has a happy, healthy, and blessed weekend. Until then, God, I hope I'm wrong, and God, I hope Tua goes off, because that's my boy, but I gotta go up objectively off what I've seen so far. So I'm not going to put massive expectations, only to be disappointed if they don't get reached. So I hope everyone has a good night. Like I said, fins up, and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Love all y'all. Peace out.
Peace. Fins up.